Best Bites Forever.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Chef Alicia and today I am making chocolate chip pecan cookies, and this happens to be my very favorite recipe for chocolate chip cookies. So we're going to start off here with 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of white sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to cream all of those things together. Now it's very important for you to understand the creaming stage when you're making cookies, because the creaming really affects what your cookies turn out like. So I just want to give you a little bit of a tip. For this particular cookie, we're going to blend to a smooth paste. We're not going to cream until it's light and fluffy. If you cream until it's light and fluffy, you're going to incorporate more air and you're going to end up with a lighter cookie, because that air that you incorporate is going to become part of the leavening, and you're definitely going to have a nice light cookie. But I want like a thick, dense, chewy chocolate chip cookie. So that's what we're doing. We're creaming to a paste, and this is what it's going to look like when you get it to a perfect, beautiful paste. So when it looks like this, stop. The next thing that I'm going to add into my yummy cookies is 2 eggs. These are 2 regular old large eggs, and I'm going to mix these in. I'm on low speed, but I have a pretty powerful hand mixer, so you may need to be on medium. But I'm going to blend these just until they're incorporated, because again, I do not want to add a whole lot of air to these cookies. I want to keep them thick, rich, and dense. The next thing that I'm adding in here is some vanilla paste. You can use regular vanilla if you would like to. Kind of depends with me if it's like kind of special cookies, which these are, because again, these are one of my very favorite recipes. So I'm using my vanilla bean paste. It's a bourbon vanilla bean paste, and it's Nielsen Massey is the brand that I happen to like, but there are others out there. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm going to mix together my dry ingredients. What I have here is my baking soda, my baking powder. I have a half a teaspoon of each, and I also have about somewhere between 1/4 teaspoon and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then 3 cups of white flour. Sometimes when I make these, I like to do them whole wheat. Like if I know the kids are going to be eating a whole bunch, you can do like 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour with 1/2 cup of wheat germ, but then you need to add a couple tablespoons of water. So anyway, moving on, we're using all white flour today, and you just need to mix it until it's incorporated. Again, that's just the theme of the day, because we don't want to make these fluffy. We're trying to have thick, chewy cookies. So I just mixed in that first half of my dry ingredients, which notice I stirred my dry ingredients together. That was kind of a key thing that I wanted to show you. When you mix like your baking soda and your baking powder into your flour, or my little nutmeg I put in there, you want to make sure you stir it up so that it's kind of even before you even add it into your cream, sugar, and butter. That way it incorporates nice and evenly into the batter. So as you can see, this is a super, super dry dough. That's something that we want, because the more liquid that you have in your cookie batter, the more it's going to spread. But this is also a temperamental dough, so I'm showing you here the texture is just a tiny bit more dry than I want. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of water. Now you may not need that tablespoon of water. You need to touch your dough and feel it and see if it crumbles like mine did. But that 1 tablespoon, see, you're still going to have the same kind of texture when you look at it. See, when you look at my dough, it's not really coming together. It's not, coming together into the one ball, and it's not real moist. But see, when I squeeze it together, it's more like if you were making, say, a pie crust, and it holds together, just like you see here. So that's kind of the texture you're looking for. Okay, so the next thing that I'm adding in here is 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of pecans, which I have broken up into like 4s or so. And normally I would tell you to stir these in with a rubber spatula, but again, this is a really dry, stiff dough, and you will get a serious arm workout if you try to do that, and maybe you're way stronger than me, which is totally cool, except that I don't want to have a sore arm tomorrow, so I'm using my hand mixer, and I have a pretty strong hand mixer, so it can handle it. I'm going to give it a little stir here just to make sure everything is getting incorporated in there nice and evenly. And again, I'm just going to check my batter, and then I'm going to go ahead and play with my food, because it's fun, and also because I'm going to try to mash everything together and make sure that everything is incorporated. Now it kind of looks like I'm doing a kneading motion here, which I guess I kind of am, but I am not kneading my dough. You do not need cookie dough because, well, everybody needs cookie dough, but that's not what I mean. Okay, You don't knead your cookie dough, because if you do, it's going to end up like weird and funky and stiff with tough cookies, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to mash all my chocolate chips and pecans in there. And also, I'm going to grab all those little guys stuck to the bottom of my bowl because they are very tasty too, so we don't want to leave them out. So this is what your dough should look like. It should kind of mash together if you try to mash it together. Okay, here is my portion scoop. This is a number 20 portion scoop. If you don't own a portion scoop, that is okay. You can do it by tablespoons. So a 20 portion scoop is the equivalent of 1.6 ounces by volume, not by weight. So that's just over 3 tablespoons. We're going to go ahead and put them out onto the sheet pan by scoopfuls or by tablespoons or whatever you're doing. You don't have to space them too far apart because they're really not going to spread, because again, we did that really stiff dough. I'm going to bake them on 350 degrees. In my oven, they take 16 minutes, and I rotate them halfway, like, you know, switch the pan around during cooking. So 8 minutes in, open your oven, turn around the pan. Take them out, let them sit on your sheet pan for about 1 minute, and then put them onto a cooling rack, which is where mine are chilling here. Now, when you're cooling your cookies, you don't want to have them like in a draft. You don't want to try to cool them too quickly, because that's what makes your cookies crack when you're cooling them. So if you have cracked cookies, that's what your problem is. You need to make sure that they're just having a little bit more cooling time, so maybe put them in a little bit warmer of an area of your kitchen. And then here are my pretty cookies. They're all finished. Look how thick they are. I mean, seriously, are they like beautiful cookies? Hi, cookies. Okay, I am going to eat you now. So everybody enjoy, and you can get this recipe on my site, bestbitesforever.com. Happy cooking, everyone!
bestbitesforever.com